I'm 33, struggling with trying to start a family, and hoping to build a meaningful business that can retire me before I'm 40. I only have 7 years to accomplish this goal. The difficulty isn't that I have 7 years to accomplish this goal, it's the fact that I'm starting when I'm 33 and not when I'm 23. Had I actually started when I was 23, I probably could have been there already. But I feel like I was held back by two of the most important people in my life, my parents. Now, to clarify, I'm not in any way, shape, or form saying that my parents failed me. Of course, my parents aren't perfect, and I can't hold them against that. I was raised well in a good household in the middle class. That's nothing to complain about. I feel like, in a way, my parents, and potentially yours as well, pigeonholed us into going to school, to getting a degree, and not focusing on other passions or projects. I'm sure other millennials would very much agree with me that we felt like we were forced to go to school when maybe we had other plans and other dreams and aspirations. Now, could I have gone a different route? Certainly. But at that time in my life, I felt like I didn't have a choice, and it seemed like my parents would have just been disappointed had I not gone to school. Before I jump into that, let's go back in time 11 years. It was 2015 when I was ready to kick my life off and build something I was proud of. I had ideas to start a YouTube gaming channel back then, but I wasn't quite certain if that's what I wanted to do. I loved the idea of starting a YouTube channel, but I didn't have enough direction at that point. At the same time, my parents were also really pushing me to go to school to get an education. My dad had not gone to college and was struggling with working multiple jobs trying to support a family. He couldn't earn as much without a degree. Maybe this is or was the same scenario for your parents. It was this struggle that made them push me so hard to go and get a degree. Now, by no stretch of the imagination is a college degree a bad thing to have. I highly encourage everybody listening to get as much education as you can, whether that's through school or some other way. I personally love watching YouTube videos. Because so many parents were telling their kids to go to school, the price of education went up, the value of a degree went slightly down, and it opened up a ton of trades jobs that were paying more than the ones that required college degrees. I ended up going to school in 2015, but I was uncertain about what I wanted to study. This was also part of the issue because I didn't want to go to school and waste all this money. Long story short, I ended up dropping out of my second semester because I was unhappy, depressed, and uncertain about my life's journey. I came back to my hometown at that point, worked a couple jobs in maintenance, and finally decided I wanted to go back to school, but this time on my own terms. I had gotten into a rut in my life where I felt like things were just too easy. I wasn't married, had no kids, and just worked and came home and played games. I wanted something different. I needed something challenging. So I decided I'd go back to school for business management. At this point, my education was more important than that piece of paper I would get when I graduated. I cared more about my journey in life than I did about spending thousands and thousands on a piece of paper. I became very passionate about business throughout my second go at college, and during so, even created and sold a small business within 14 weeks with a few other classmates. It was only until recently that I discovered that I could combine the two and try to build a successful YouTube channel around these two passions. Again, I love watching YouTube. Much of what I know I gained from learning on YouTube. I definitely put in my research, and sometimes I would spend upwards of 15 to 20 hours watching videos just to make sure I was decent enough at something. Something that continues to bother me to this day is the fact that if I hadn't been pushed so hard to go to school, I might have explored other options that might have led me here sooner. There's a lot of what ifs, but with how much the world has changed, college degrees are no longer the only way to make money nowadays. Many people are now making tens of thousands of dollars a month just by building their own businesses, especially online. And with how impressive AI has become, it's even easier. I truly do wish that my parents were a little more aware of the world around them. They were still stuck in the early 2000s. Only recently have I ever heard them admit that there were so many ways to make money online. Now, I never expect an apology from them or anything for that matter. They did their part and raised me well. It was on me to figure my life out. They were just trying to help me out as best as they could, using their past experiences to guide me. I'm grateful for them because they did so much for me. I could complain all day long about how I feel like my parents held me back. Instead, I want to build something meaningful that can support my family. I want to build something around my passions. I would hope that you could relate to some of the things that I say. I want to be a help and a guide to some of you who may not have all the answers to life's questions. Now, I don't have all the answers to life's questions, but I think that my input can still provide value to some of you. And at the end of the day, if I can only help one of you, I would be happy. I'm building this channel for a community of people who share a passion around gaming, business, making money online, personal finance, and talking about life in general. My opportunities and life experiences will be different from you, but I hope that what I share will have some value to you in some way. I'm not the arbiter of truth, nor do I have all the answers to your questions, but I think the best way to solve any problem is to put more minds together. Sometimes you don't need to go through life on your own, and sometimes you do need to do it alone and grow as an individual. I would hope that within this community you're able to find the help you need, whether it's making more money, finding happiness, or even just feeling heard. If I could boil this channel down to one thing, it would simply be to help as many of you as possible using my life experiences, my perspective, and what I've learned thus far. I know I can't change the world, but I can help individuals. There's this short story I really love. It describes a boy who's walking along a beach, throwing starfish back into the ocean. An old man notices him and tells him he's wasting his time because there's thousands washed up on the shore. The boy turns to him and says, "I know I can't make a difference for every one of them, but I can make a difference for this one, and for this one." It's finally time for me to make a move. I'm no longer going to stand on the sidelines and watch others play the game. Let me know in the comments what resonated with you, and subscribe if you wish to see more content. It would really help me out. I look forward to the next one. Peace.